Hey everyone, welcome to this week's live Q&A and announcements. I know it's not on schedule. The normal day is Fridays at 2 o'clock, but or is it at 3 o'clock? I can't remember. It's been that kind of week. So basically yesterday, I'm just going to make some announcements first, and then as you guys jump on, we'll do the QA stuff. So I want to let everybody know what's going on with the contest. The first thing I want to do is thank Cheddar Compow and Michael, We Backtracks, and Bradulus for joining me on the Patreon Hangout yesterday. That is why yesterday's live broadcast didn't happen, because starting this month, or should I say, yeah, December, we started a live hangout session on Patreon, and that was the test run yesterday. It went really well. I really had a great time. It was really nice for me. I got a lot of feedback and information from the guys, and I got to learn. I got to meet 4 great guys. So basically that's what happened with that. And so that kind of threw this off. The plan is to do that every the first of the month. And this first happened to land on a Friday, which threw it off. So we're doing the QA today. So that's the announcement on that. Of course, I want to make a couple brief announcements, and then, like I said, we'll get into the QA. The first thing I also want to say, let me get back to it as I jump screens around, is I want to thank everyone who supports the live QA. So the patrons, all the patrons, and everybody who buys T-shirts and everybody who watches the channel, I want to thank you for your support. And then above that, I want to give an extra thank you to Bradulist, Zachary Rowe, Michael Newman, Bruce Scaris, Jeff Howes, We Backtracks, John Jex, Michael Shy, Justin Maybe, and David Madison. And of course, Lawrence Petros. I'm sorry. Lawrence Petros. I'm going to say Petros. It's Petros, so you know, but I always say Petros. I think it's just in the way I talk. So Lawrence Petros for supporting the channel and everyone else. And also to Lawrence yesterday for letting me see some of his new prototype pedals that I'm not allowed to talk about, which was really, really cool. So the next announcement, of course, is the giveaways. The first giveaway that I want to announce is the fact that the Quintessence pedal by TC Electronics, which had the Nerd Whammy tone print, was won by 801 Guitars. And I sent them a message through YouTube, and I put it on the video. So they've been notified. As soon as I hear back from them, they'll get the pedal. If I don't hear back from them in a reasonable amount of time, I'll have to pick the next winner. So there you go. Now the big deal is the Sharpen My Axe contest, and we have the 5 winners there. So let me tell you what's going on with those people. First of all, they've all been notified, so one of which has not responded back. So I picked 5 winners. One said they couldn't do it, so I had to pick another winner, and that is Lewis. So I'm waiting to hear back from Lewis. Once I hear back from him, he's the 5th winner. If I don't hear from him or he can't do it, I will pick another winner and announce that. But the winners that win was Gregor, Alice, Jason, and Bob. And Bob was our winner from our T-shirt and patron pool. Bob is a supporter of the channel, wears T-shirts. And what's nice about that was, just so you guys know, was the overwhelming response you guys gave for this contest was amazing. It was almost 3,000 entries, and it was amazing. I've been reading all of your guys' comments and stuff in those emails. I promise I can't respond to you guys because there's just too many, but I'll promise to read all of them and at least get a sense of what you guys are about out there, because it's really interesting. You guys had some really cool things to talk about. And then in the Patreon T-shirt pool, there was 39 people. So Bob won from that pool of 39, so a much smaller pool. So I'm glad I could give back to the not only everybody supports the channel, but the people that actually, you know, add even more support by doing those other tiers. That all being said, I'm very excited. So my understanding is people are going to be shipping me guitars this coming week, and as soon as I get the guitars, I'll be doing the videos, because it's when I get the guitar in the mail, the first thing will be the unboxing, and we'll just start going through it. Okay, is that a kind of enough announcements, I guess? So I'm excited about all that. I hope you guys were excited. That I really think this Sharpen My Axe thing is going to be cool, and maybe it's something, and maybe it doesn't need to be a contest. Maybe I can leave all you guys that put in entries, and as we go forward, you know, maybe this could be a monthly video. I pick one person, we do it. That could be something cool. So at least for a while. So let's see what's going on. What's going on with you guys? My week has been super crazy. as the holidays are coming. It just seems like it gets crazier. Yeah, I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, shucks, I didn't win. But yeah, you know, like I said, hopefully you'll enjoy the videos that get made, because I'm excited. Like I said, I'm nervous because it's putting me on the spot. Justin maybe says, hey, Phil, what gear is on my Christmas list? Oh, that's a good question. You know, believe it or not, I think the gear that's on my Christmas list, or the gear I've been thinking about, is I own currently 2 custom 24 CEs. Okay. I have the reclaimed hollow body and I have a regular one. And I like them so much that I'm thinking about actually maybe ditching 1 or 2 of my core PRSs, because I have 2. Well, I have 3, the mirror right there. But otherwise, I have 2 core guitars. I'm thinking about getting rid of 1 and just getting another CE. So I really like the CEs. I can't keep playing them. Other than that, I don't know. Like I said, I've had the guitars that are on my brain is the G&L, the Kiesel, the Sur, or another PRS CE. And when I say another, I'd be getting rid of some guitars to get that one. So those are my guitars that are on my list. Next, what do we got? Okay, so just got a lot of congratulations. I'm glad you guys are really happy for everybody won. I'm really happy too. I really, the responses I got when they won were really, really exciting. Cheddar saying, hey, I was looking at the Trampus Green Satin CE24 this morning. Yeah, you know, there's just something, I think it's because I'm a Strat guy. There's something about the CE24s that just feel more natural to me. I like the way they sound. I like those 8515 pickups, everything I like about it. I have the hollow one, and then I can't see it, but I have another one that I bought, and I've never demoed it or anyone's seen it. I bought it used, and I got it for like $1,100, and it's a cool color. It's amber, but it's when I bought it, I asked how much it weighed, and they said like 7.5, and I got it, and it's like 8.5, and it's a little heavier than I like, but it's fine. Ben saying Mary Spender is cool. Yes, she is. She's very cool, and she's very talented and super nice. And I'm glad. I'm very lucky that she interviewed me for her Tuesday Talks, and I had fun. If you couldn't tell in that video, I was sick as a dog. So you know, at that point at GitCon, I was not feeling too great, but I was pushing through. Okay, next question is. Frank's saying, hey, I should check out the KSR amps this coming NAMM. All right, let's write that down. Well, now it'll be in the thing. Check out KSR amps. I will do that. That's a good idea too. Maybe you guys should just suggest things that you're interested in me checking out at the NAMM show. Last year or this year, I did a thing at the NAMM show called the Scavenger Hunt. It was really interesting. I would really like to do that this NAMM. So that's I have 4 ideas on videos I want to do for NAMM, and I want to keep them kind of secret, close to the chest. But one of them is the Scavenger Hunt. And what I want to do, since we're in the future now, and through Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, you guys can contact me. You can send me information. I was thinking about day 1. You guys send what booth you want me to go to and what you want me to see or do, and then I go do it, and then I post the video real quick. You know what I mean? Real quick. That's just commando, just go, right? I thought it'd be fun. So in real time, and then you guys can maybe we'll use like the thumb ups, and stuff to vote. So if somebody puts a suggestion, it's just, I go by majority rules. So you guys can keep suggesting things, but obviously whoever gets the most thumbs up. So if somebody says, go to the Ibanez booth and check out the new RG550s, or hey, go, do this. I think that'll be fun. I think it can be really interesting. Blake says, Chapman guitars, any thoughts? I tried to buy, I thought, I got so many questions about Chapman guitars for so long. I thought, they got a new Indonesian line. Let's buy one and review it. So I went to buy one and they were out of stock. There was one guitar in stock at Rift City. So if you guys are finding Chapman, not overseas where it takes 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get to me. But if you guys know any USA dealers that have Chapman Indonesian guitars, the $399 ones in stock, put that in the comments down below, because I am trying to actively buy one and review it. I don't want to contact Chapman. I don't want to be associated with those guys in any way when I do the review. This review is going to be either I'm going to get hammered because if I like it, I'll get hammered as a fanboy. If I hate it, I'll get hammered as, you know, because the fanboys of Chapman will hate what I say. So I just want to be super impartial. I'll just buy one with my own money and basically, you know, see what I think. But I am curious. So, and like I said, the Korean guitars I think are going to be great because I played those and Korean guitars are good quality. But I'm really curious to see, can his Indonesian guitars hold up to other Indonesian brands I've played. Lance Phillip just gave me $2. Hey, I'll put that towards the Chapman guitar. Thanks, Lance. So I appreciate that. And then Ed Bailey saying, ask Aria Pro at NAMM why they don't have a U.S. importer. You know, see, and we'll put that in the comments of the question on when I index this. I'll be indexing this tomorrow. For those of you new to the show, I index the questions in the comments and in the description. But it takes me about an hour and a half to 2 hours to do that. And unfortunately, that's why this is all wacky too. I have some stuff I have to do tonight, so I'll be doing that tomorrow. But that is a great idea. You know what, Ed, thank you so much for that. I think that's a great idea. You know, questions you guys might have. I have no problem going up to anyone at NAMM, anyone, and asking them a question that's legitimate. So if you want to ask questions like that, you know, like, why do you pick this menu? You know, why do you go to this, you know, why do you make this guitar in this country? Or why does this guitar have this? Or like that, why is there no importer? Yeah, I'll ask. Why not? And I'll probably do is I'll ask if you guys have questions, put those in the comments down below. I'll start rounding them up. And then we could also do that with the scavenger hunt. It doesn't have to be just about getting guitars. You could do that. Go ask this person this, and then I'll go ask because they're there. What I want you guys to think about is what I've been thinking about. Instead of just going to the NAMM show and looking at the newest gear, okay? Because there's a ton of channels doing that, and there's a ton of great places doing that. Why not do? This is my mindset, and I want you guys all as the supporters of this channel and what we do here. I want you to think the same way as me for this year's NAMM. Let's do what we can't do anywhere else. What can we do at NAMM that you can't do anywhere else? Like, I can ask the CEO of a company something. I can ask the builder of a company something. I can ask questions. I can look at stuff. You know, what does the back of this one guitar neck feel like? You could ask me that. Phil, hey, what does the new 2018 Gibson Les Paul neck feel like? You know, and I'll go and grab it and I'll feel it and I'll go, hey, this is what I think it feels like. And I'll just do that description. So something, a question. You know, it's instead of virtually be there through video, what about other senses? Can we ask questions? Can we, you know, see how stuff feels? Jeff just also gave me $5. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. Again, I'll put that towards the Chapman guitar unless you don't want me to. But I think that'd be good. I don't mind doing that. Let's see. Yeah, Adam says you're gonna get hammered? ? Yeah, probably you're saying because what I said about the Chapman guitar. Yeah, you know, it's a controversial subject. So the only way I can do it is the way I've done like a lot of the videos I've approached, which is, I'll tell you right now, when I review the Chapman guitar, it's going to be, I'm going to open the box and it's just going to be whatever it is. In fact, so you know, when I was looking at Riff City guitars to order one, I specifically had set up a secondary. I have a PO box, a secondary account name. I don't want anybody to know it's me that buys the guitar. I'm trying to keep it really stealthy, so I don't want anyone to say, oh, you know, they knew it was you. Not that anyone care. I just don't want you guys to think that there's any bias going on. And then David said, good experiences with Riff City guitars, pedals, nothing bigger yet. Yeah, you know, I hear no bad things about Riff City, so that's always good. I hear good things and not bad things. So let's see. Okay, Carlos says, how are mom and pop stores competing with the digital marketplace? Will my favorite guitar shop disappear? You know, we're all opinions, right? I'm just going to go, but I'm going to give you my opinion with all my experience and everything I've been doing in this industry. There is no absolute zero. In other words, there is no day where there is no mom and pop stores. I don't care what happens. The reason is think about this. And I can only talk about the United States, right? So in the United States, there are still sewing machine and vacuum cleaner repair shops in this country. You know, there's not a lot of them. You're going to have to look for them, but there's somebody still doing those type of services. Why? Because even though most people buy throwaway vacuum cleaners, there are still a few marketplaces where, you know, repairable vacuums are apply. So what I'm going with that is that same thing. There always is going to be a customer element, and as long as there's a customer, there's an entrepreneur out there that wants to satisfy that need and make money. So there's always going to be some customer who wants to have a tangible experience with touching things and being in a store and being in an environment. So I don't think that they have to worry about that being destroyed by that. But I will say this: I think the smartest mom and pops embrace the digital marketplace as well. Why not? You know, the best thing I can say, the best advice I could give to any mom and pop shop is, you know, while you're at home sleeping, at home resting from the hard day of work, if you have a website, if you have digital, the internet working for you, it's nice to have revenue coming in when you're not working. So the next day when you open that store and you turn that key, there's orders, whether those orders are just some small orders or a pedal or whatever, it's still orders, and that's free money because your costs are fixed. You have to pay rent, you have to pay, you know, everything is for the month is fixed. So it's extra revenue. So embrace those things and try to do what you can with them. So I like the idea. Hopefully that they'll embrace both. Okay, next one was your thought on the hardware, tube modeler Black Widow MGP1A. If you don't know, check it out. That's that crazy preamp, right? And I'm just making sure, Phil, that I'm right. Phil, is that the one that Robert Baker just kind of demoed and checked out or whatever, did an open box on? I'm pretty sure I'm right. I'm also very sure they sent me an email asking me if I would check it out. You guys can, this is a good time. If you guys don't know what that is, please Google it if you want to. It's the hardware tube modeler Black Widow MGP1A preamp. It's an all tube modeling preamp. It's like $2,500. They did send me an email asking me if I was interested in reviewing it. I did not respond yet. My main reasoning is I'm on the fence about a very large, heavy $2,500 preamp modeling system. I just don't know how much interest there is out there with you guys to see that. Maybe if you're just curious, I'll check it out for you. I'm not sure. You know, it doesn't cost me anything. They're willing to ship it to me and let me review it. So if you think I should do it, we'll do it. If you guys think, I wasn't sure. You know, I don't. Okay. The next question is. Dola says, I think this is the first Know Your Gear I've watched live. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you can make it. I thought that's the benefit of even the schedule being wacky this week. At least, you know, on a Saturday at a weird time, maybe somebody who has never seen it live will be able to pop in. And like I promised before, I said, look, I'm trying to stick to the Friday schedule, and it works for most of the time. But if it doesn't, I promise. I said, look, I'll just do it on a different day. I won't skip. A lot of you guys have voiced to me over and over again that you don't like it if I skip, and I really enjoy doing it. So, you know, me too. First live. Oh, Ethan's first live too. Awesome, Ethan. And Bill. All right. See, we scooped up some new people. That's. The next question is for, so it says, hey, Phil, what do you think of Ibanez reissuing the RG550s for 2018? Well, it's the 30th anniversary. I guess that's going to be cool. I don't know if they're Japanese. I assume they are, and they might be Indonesian. I'm curious. I have an affection towards that model. I have one. I have an RG550 25th year anniversary in Road Flare Red. I've had the yellow one before. So I think it's cool. They had the purple. They had another color too. I think there's 4 colors, right? There was like black, yellow, the red, which is an orange, and the purple. And I thought there was one other one. And so I'm interested, but I'm more interested about, how about you? I'm interested about the price. The last time, so here's the deal. This will tell you the economics of the guitar community right now. And 5 years ago when they came out, they were $1,000 a piece, $1,000. So will be interesting to see what they are this year of 2018. Are they more? Are they the same but made in Indonesia? Are the same and still made in Japan? I'm trying to get a pin here. So I'm very curious about that. That'd be something that'd be cool on the scavenger hunt to check out. Okay, Nigel Nigel wants to know, hey, Phil, a Tele with a humbucker in the neck, what do you think of them? I think that if you see that's the biggest trend. If I was going to say there's a trend in Teles, there's definitely, that's one of the biggest trends is putting a humbucker in the neck. And I think it's because a lot of people realize that's a lot of people who play Teles play the neck position, you know, right? You get the twang, the bite off the bridge, but you get that warm, huge chord sound off the neck position and putting a humbucker in there. I love the idea. And in fact, I was almost bought it. I was on the fence this weekend on Musician's Friend. They had a G&L and this beautiful, like seam foam green looking metallic paint job. One of the a G&L Tele for $350. It's normally $450. And I kept thinking about buying it. And the thing that held me back was, you know, I just didn't know if I needed another guitar. It's hard to justify them at some point. You know, and also I'm trying to, if I get one, to get rid of one. And, you know, so anyways, so yeah, I love the idea of a humbucker in the neck. I think it's really great. So technically in my Tele, I have a humbucker in the neck. It's just a stacked humbucker. It looks like a single coil, but it's a stacked humbucker. But I like the idea of a full-size humbucker. You know, I'm going to feel bad because it jumped and I didn't see your name, but I got the question, which was, what do I think of P90s and Les Pauls? And I think they sound fantastic. I have a Les Paul Gold Top with P90s in it. I like it. The P90s, they're a little noisy sometimes. So sometimes I like the idea of the noiseless P90s. Really think about getting some Lawler P90s because they sound fantastic. I've always liked P90s and a Les Paul. You know, in fact, to me, a P90s and a Les Paul through a Marshall amp just has a fantastic sound. It's a perfect amount of crunch. It's that beautiful like marriage of a little bit of aggressive and a little bit of, you know, classic smooth sound. And I can't even say the name. DSFA DSFG says just put a hot rail in my Tele. It sounds great. Yeah. I think hot rails, the rail pickups in Teles are some of my favorite selling guitars. My buddy Scott has basically choppers in his Tele from DiMarzio, which is different than the hot rails from Seymour Duncan, but also very good. Love them. Those things that, you know, in a Tele, mini humbuckers just have a little bite to them. You know, it gives you the kind of the snap and punch of a single coil, but the fullness and no noise of a humbucker. So, the question, there's just a question that says EVH 50 watt EL34. That's one thing I would like to see. So at the NAMM show, that's something I'd like to check out. So if you're interested in that GTM, just put that. We'll do that as part of the scavenger hunt to say, hey, that's what I want you to check out. When I say scavenger hunt, so you understand what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about you tell me to go to booth and I go there and I do a 30-minute video and then you won somehow. You were the one I picked. I mean, you guys give me like 20 things to do per day. I'll hit all 20 and then I'll edit it into a montage and it'll just be like bam, 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 bam. You watch a 15-minute video and you see 20 booths and all the and I'll index the, hey, this is what the person wanted. This is what I did. This is what the person wanted. I think it'd be fun just to kind of see. Plus, it's not only would it be interesting to see what I did with that, but also, you know, what questions were the winners or what thoughts were the winners. Okay, Jason wants to know, Phil, Wiggins brand vintage compared to Texas, to the Texas Strat or Tele. So I've had both Wiggins pickups, the vintage and the Texas, and I preferred the Texas. That was my preference. And that was because William kind of suggested, hey, you need to try the Texas, and I bought a set of Texas from him, and I agreed. I liked them a little better than the vintage. However, since then, I've learned so much about single coil pickups. What I will tell you, for me, what I've learned is single coil pickups for me need to be a little hotter. I want everything to be like the 60s era pickups. So I want them a little hotter than the 50s to warm them up. So definitely to Texas. And I think the only thing that's special about Texas set is just the bridge is a little hotter. Yeah, see, somebody was saying the Scavenger last year was great. Well, the Scavenger last year was impromptu. I was at the show and I thought, let's do it. That's why this year I want to have a little bit more organized, a little more control of it. Somebody helping me with, you know, keeping track of what everybody's sending me. And like I said, I think it'd be fun. What a great way to kind of all be there together. You know, you can live vicariously through what I'm doing. If you're not there, if you don't have the opportunity to be at the NAMM show, why not, you know, see what it's like, you know. And like I said, I'm pretty open for anything. If you guys even say like, hey, go and show us what the gift shop looks like at NAMM. All right, fine. We'll go check that out. That's what everybody wants to see. That's what we'll do. Seas Of Neptune, Jimmy. Hey, Seas Of Neptune. Love my shirt, by the way. You know, you gave me a bunch of shirts. So I gave one to my wife. My wife was wearing the other day. And when I saw her, I said, hey, you're wearing a Seas Of Neptune shirt. So that was really cool. And it says, so great band. Everybody, please check them out. I'll put that in the link when I do the index. Hi, Phil. What do you think about the Gretsch White Penguin? Thinking of getting one in left-handed. It's a great guitar. They're pricey, but they're great. You know, made in Japan, very good. I obviously have a Japanese Gretsch. The quality is really good. I've always felt like they've been a little overpriced for what they are, but it's a take it or leave it proposition. You either pay the price and get the Gretsch and pay that money for the Japanese Gretsch, or you don't. So there you go. So there's nothing you can do. I was gonna say there is some cool versions of that guitar in the Electromagnetic series that are white, that are not the Penguin, but they kind of look that way. They're very good. But I've never seen one in a left-handed one. So I don't know if that would help you out too much. Okay. Okay, Adam says, go and sneak up behind Jim Marshall and poke his butt cheek. Okay, but Jim Marshall passed away, so that could be a much creepier thing than you're suggesting. So just so you know. And so yeah, so I don't think I'll do it to Jim Marshall, just because, you know, obvious reasons. All right, what do you think about the Line 6 Firehawk? You know, I don't even think I know what that is. Is that weird, really loud speaker system thing? I can't remember. You know, it seems like Line 6 is like, they're just fading away. You know what I mean? I mean, they got the Helix, and that's really good. And, you know, so it seems like each month, whether you realize it or not, when somebody brings up Line 6 with me, I realize I'm becoming less and less familiar with the product line because I see less and less of it. So I'm just not sure. But I'm a fan overall of Line 6 stuff. I've always felt they're really good. You know, at one point they were really good, but okay. So you guys put funny comments. So and Seas Of Neptune's said they're gonna send me the first copy of their album from the printers. That would be awesome. But so you know, I don't even have CD player in my car. So if you do it, I'll rip it. Although I don't have a CD player on my computer either. See how the world is changing fast? I don't have a CD player in my car. I don't have a CD player on my MacBook, and either in my Macs. My wife's Mac doesn't have a CD. It doesn't have a CD drive in it. So, but I'm sure you know what? I'm pretty sure I can use my daughter's computer and rip it. So that's what I'll do. Okay, so it says, Phil, do you ever think that there will be a show on the NAMM Guitcon scale for the general public to attend? I don't know. You know, right now there's a lot of discussion about Gitcon and what they're doing and how they're prepping for the NAMM, because they're going to have a mini Gitcon kind of vibe thing there at the NAMM at the Frams booth. You know, they're asking for volunteers for next year, I think. Please don't get me in trouble if I'm totally wrong, but I thought that's what they're doing. They need more volunteers for next year. So if you're serious, maybe contact Henning. But please only if you're serious, because he's really, that guy works an insane amount of hours. So, oh, okay. So Jason says, hey, Phil, what does the Kokopelli pedal from LPD sound like? Any comparisons? Great question. I actually have the video for the Kokopelli done. I'm finishing editing right now. But just that you said comparison is really interesting to me. Maybe I need to splice some of that stuff in, a comparison, because that would be an interesting thing, right? If you heard it, that wouldn't tell you much. But what is it compared to, or what's comparable to it? You know what? I will make sure that gets done. But that's this week, Jason. I promised. Well, I didn't promise. I told Lawrence on Friday when we were having lunch. I'm like, oh, I'm going to do your Kokopelli review. And he's like, really? And I think it's like the third time I told him I was going to do it. And I still haven't done it. Hey, Phil, what's your opinion on the Eric Clapton mid boost circuit for Strats? Is it worth it? Yeah, we talked about this in the past. I think it's cool. I've always liked it. Kind of reminds me of what Sir has, a kind of vibe like that, and so does G&L have circuits that are kind of like that to me in my impression of it. And yeah, no, very, very cool stuff for sure. Definitely makes the guitar sound fatter, huger, bigger kind of thing. Mike's saying Trio or Trio Plus. Mike, if you can still find the Trios for $50 like they were on the last weekend, do the Trio for $50. Or find someone who bought one $50, see if they'll scalp it to you for just a little bit more than that. But boy, that's a hard deal to beat, $50 for that pedal. Phil, okay, says Brendan says, Phil, man, when you are announcing the winners for the Mod Your Guitar as well for the budget, what types of pedals? Okay, I'm a little lost. Let's try this again. Phil, when you are announcing the winners for the Mod Your Guitar as well for the budget, what types of pedals like distortion, reverb, chorus, overdrive should I put? Oh, it jumped. I'm sorry, guys. You know what? It hasn't been jumping lately. Okay, should I put on my pedal board? That's two questions I think Brendan is saying. So I think he's asking me, when am I announcing it? I announced it at the beginning of this video, so you just have to watch the beginning of the video who the announcer of the winners are. And so the next question is, what budget types of pedals like distortion, reverb, chorus, and overdrive should I put on my pedal board? That's another thing. So I actually was working on that video right now, a budget pedal video, and the company that I made the mistake of interacting with was, I don't know, a disaster. So how about that? So I don't know how to even go. It was a waste of my time. So it kind of threw me off schedule because I thought I was going to be, sometimes I'm dealing with a company and I think, oh, this will be cool. Because what happened was a company makes inexpensive pedals reached out to me and I thought, this is a good opportunity to do something like that. Let's do a budget, video and stuff. And I have a bunch of pedals. So I thought I'd compare it to some other pedals and it didn't work out. So I got to kind of rethink how I'm going to kind of approach that. Hey, Phil, when we review the Hughes and Kittner Grandmiester, once I'm familiar with it, that's from Guitar Hack. It's right there behind me. Hughes and Kittner sent this amp to me, of course, and they, obviously we met at GitCon, and they sent a bunch of YouTubers the amps. Pixie got one, and the Tone King got it too, Meister. And they sent the pedal and stuff, and I don't want to review it until I totally understand it. There's a lot going on, just this foot switch and understanding the electronics and the midis and all the stuff, and it's got a wireless Bluetooth system attachment. I've been learning and playing it, and so once I'm familiar with it and I feel like I can actually tell you guys, hey, I think I understand it, let's talk about what it is. First impressions of it are very good so far. Really like it. And I told them for sending it to me, I would put it in the videos and turn the light on. So that's why it's in the videos with the light on. Hey, you know what? They get anything I can do to help them. I told them, I said, anything I can do to help, since they were nice enough to pay to be at GitCon, and we use their amps the entire time at GitCon and stuff. And they seem like really cool guys. They even offered to give me a NAMM badge if I didn't have one. Stuff like that is just cool. So they didn't ask for anything for that. Cowtown Custom says, I would like to see a new and interesting stuff from small shops and startups at the NAMM show. That's what is a great, thank you, Cowtown. And thank you for the $5. That's really cool. That's a really interesting and cool idea. That could be a category for, so see, we're learning and we're going on with this. Maybe for the scavenger hunt categories, best in show, best new product. What's the, maybe, for the scavenger hunt, it could be funny. So you're finding new and interesting shops, the most interesting new small company out there, things like that. So that could be all kind of cool stuff. And so now that I've said it all, it'll be in the index and something we can go back to. Nathan Sanye. Nathan, hey, what's up, Nathan? Hey, Phil, random Digitech pedals have been going on sale for $50. Bone Shaker, Gonkulator, that's a cool name, the Gonkulator, and now the Lux D-Tune. Any thoughts? Stoked for NAMM? I am super stoked for NAMM. Because I told everybody I was a little concerned. I didn't want to go there and just be generic, and so I've come up with a lot of ideas that I think are going to be fun, and they're going to be fun for me. So I think if they're fun for me, it just makes the whole experience better for everybody. If I'm excited and you're excited, we're all excited together. So yeah, I'm excited for NAMM, and yeah, the pedals are probably not selling. That would be my, The Digitech is in a very crowded market of pedals, and they're a digital pedal company, and so making stamp boxes isn't really where their strengths lie. Nothing wrong with any of those pedals, in my personal opinion, but it's more of it doesn't matter if the pedals are good or not. Is there a place for them in the marketplace? And I kind of got the vibe when I saw them come into the market so strong with so many pedals, there wasn't. And now that I see them discounting, I'm thinking that instinct was right. Dylan says, hey, thank you, Dylan, for the super chat. Says, hey, Phil, first time catching this live stream. Awesome. Have you tried the Electro Harmonix Hum Debugger? What do you think of it? I have. It was a really cool pedal. I have found very few Electro Harmonix pedals that I don't like. I own I'll own a lot of them because a lot of them are very reasonable priced. They and that's a pedal I liked a lot. So it's a cool pedal. I know I have one. You know what? Maybe that's another thing I was thinking about too, is doing some demos. I did the Boss Blues Driver. What I want to do is I'm trying to go backwards a little bit instead of just always like, this is the new thing. Look at this new thing the company came out, new thing. What about just going back and looking at good pieces of gear that I have and I've had for years and why I've had them for years? What could be a better review than, hey, I've had this for 7 years and I love it. You know what I mean? That's better than, hey, I've had this for 7 days and I think I like it a lot. So I'll be hitting that stuff pretty hard. And that's why you'll see a ramp up of videos as we go. Hey, Phil, your reviews? Oh, yeah, I did the Hughes and Kinder. RNA Music says, so excited. What's up, RNA Music? That's awesome. I was just finishing up a bunch of your videos yesterday, watching them. What are your... Okay. Somebody likes their S2. They said it's a single cut and it's amazing. I like my single cut S2. I agree. It's also amazing. Jim says, hey, Phil, what do you think of the Jojo Blue Jay as a pedal platform? Oh, interesting enough, Jim. I have the Blue Jay, and I have the Blue Jay, and I have the red one. What's that one? The Jackman? I have the Jackman. I have the Blue Jay and the Jackman. I have not reviewed them because Jojo sent them to me to review. And then I was going to do the review, and then they said, then talking to them, they said, well, we sent you all of them. And I said, no, I got 2 of them. And they go, oh, we'll send the rest. And I haven't got the rest. So I think I'm just going to do this. But so, you know, of all those heads that I try to get con, so I've tried them all. That is the Blue Jay is my favorite one. In fact, of all those heads, I think that's my favorite one, and here's why. None of them have reverb. So to me, having a small amp that has a cool sound, you know, but it doesn't have reverb means you're going to have to plug something in the effects loop or use it as a pedal platform. And to me, it's all about small, portable. They're definitely loud enough. I actually did a test with the Blue Jay, if this helps. I took the Blue Jay and I compared it to my Princeton Reverb, which is a 12-watt tube amp, and I got my decibel meter out and I played them both. I cranked them up. So they're just clean, but I cranked them up, and they were both hitting the same like 91 decibels. So what's interesting about that is, so they were putting out the same amount of volume for the most part, and they're doing it rather well. Both started farting out and getting bad around the same spots too. So I highly recommend the Blue Jay. Out of all those Bantam amps by Jojo, that's the one I recommend the most for, because you can use it as a pedal platform. You take it. To me, that's what I would want it for. I take it. I have it in the car. I'm jamming with some buddies, or if you're at a gig, your amp goes crappy. You put that on your cabinet. You plug in your cabinet. You plug your pedal board in that. Saves the day. Could be a cool amp to have. And like I said, it sounds good too. So yeah. I recommend it. So, how do you soundproof your guitar room? Well, you know, you can do anything to, you know, you can buy soundproofing and sound dampening are different. My room is sound dampened. So if that makes any sense. So I have studio style egg shaped Craig foam in sections of this room, and that's why when you hear there's no echo in this room, because there's no furniture in this room. I don't use a desk. It's just, people are different, right? I use this like art table that raises and lowers. I just like it. I use a laptop. I'm a very mobile type personality. I don't like to stay in a room. If I stay in a room too long, I get kind of agitated. So I only own laptops, and I tend to work at the kitchen table, and then I work on the couch, and then I work at this table, and then I'll work. I just move around just throughout the day. So anyway, so because of that, there's no, you know, there's no furniture to suck up the noise. So, but one thing that I do that works well for me is I use a lot of drapes. This room has a lot of drapes in it, and on the other sides, and I use the foam, and that sound dampens it, but soundproofing is a totally different mess. But it depends. Also, it's a budget thing. If you have the budget, you get nice studio stuff. If you have no budget, you get carpet remnants. You know, that's back in the old day. A lot of us remember back in the old day, carpet remnants. If anyone has ever worked at or played in band jam places, I've played in many places where your bands, you know, practice studios, and carpet on the walls. And if you are a high society folk, you got new to almost new carpeting, and if you were not, you got the old carpeting, and it was the rooms where you didn't touch the walls because the carpet looked gross. So I have no shame in where I've been in my life. Everything I've done has gotten me where I am. So, you know, if you gotta, the journey is always fun. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie. We've had some pretty stinky rooms with low budget pay. 4 guys killing to pay $130 rent for the month. I feel locking tuners for my Strat without breaking the bank. Oh, you know what, Mike? I like. There's a bunch of them out there for the Strat. Definitely check out the Fender ones because they're pretty inexpensive. You can find them online for about $50. It's not horrible. You don't have to mod anything; they'll plug right in. I like those ratio tuners by Graphtech. They're a little pricier, but they have the adapters, and they also will go into the Fender headstock. So those are 2 to go with right there. Everything else, Hipshot has the ump plates, and you can do those as well. I like those as well. Those are the 3 brands I would check. There's probably a ton of stuff you can find parts online, and somebody probably give you some good feedback in the comments. Me personally, those are the ones I've had great experiences with, and I don't tend to, if I can find something I like for 50, 60 bucks, I'm not going to shoot for 40 and try the unknown. So that's my problem. Sometimes I'm a little, you know, save 10 bucks is great, but if I don't know, and you know, and and a lot of times when you find the good inexpensive parts, the return policies are a little dodgy because they're, you know. Okay, why not me? People are not watching as much TV, so they will start moving charges to the internet government and get involved. Get ready to pay for everything. Phil's thoughts. Oh, okay. Is this net neutrality? Not really, but kind of. You know, net neutrality, please, guys, if you're out there and you keep hearing the word net neutrality or the term net neutrality, please take a moment to just Google search it, read about it. It's a big deal. It's a disaster. Everything we can do to stop it would be amazing. You know, we got, so yes. The truth is this, you know, my problem right now, lately, the show, I've been jittering in in my live streams. I pay for the highest tier package that I can from my internet supplier to make sure I have unlimited unlimited data for the month on my home for my internet. And I have upload speeds. If you guys are familiar with upload speeds, like 5 is like bare minimum. I think I have 12 upload speeds, which is pretty good. And I'm constantly having trouble. And I call them and I say, look, you know, you're saying I have 12 upload speed, but I mean, I'm still having issues with uploading. So the internet is the future, and therefore we're probably gonna have to pay for it. So I'm trying not to be a pessimist about it, but my cable company has given me no vote of confidence in the last few months dealing with them. Damon asked about comparison guitars. You know what? See, that would be a good scavenger hunt. Never played a comparison guitar. Don't know anything about them. Seen pictures of them online. So if they're at the NAMM show, that would be something that I would recommend that you send to me and say, hey, you know, and when we get closer to NAMM, I'll explain how we do the scavenger hunt. We'll make it really easy, nothing tricky. I know a lot of you don't like Facebook and Instagram and other kind of sources. I'll find a way to make it to where you can just get information right to me. So what we'll probably do, to be honest with you, is I'll just set up a quick, easy Gmail account that goes right to my phone. I have some now, but I'd like one isolated to just the scavenger hunt, and you can send messages straight to that, something like that. It'd be super easy. So it'll go to my phone, and as I'm walking around the place, I'll get the messages. Can you use that email when we had contact last time, Phil? Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, I see. Seas of Neptune's asking me the question about how to send me stuff. Yeah. The best way to send me stuff is I use two email addresses. They're legit. There is no weird, spam email. AskKnowYourGear@gmail.com is where you send questions, and then I filter them into folders. P McKnight 7, so it's P and then McKnight 7, the number 7 at Gmail is my personal email, and you send me stuff. And again, if you send me stuff, I throw everything in folders. It's just a habit I've had for many years. I get an email and I take whatever the subject line is, and I have so many folders. I just throw it in so I even have a folder called "Not Now." It's just something I go, oh, that's important, but I'm driving. Not now. And I know to go back and kind of hit that at the end of the day. So. The best way to send stuff to me is the P McKnight. If you're not trying to ask me a question, if you ask me questions at P McKnight, what I actually do is I forward that to the other email. I try to keep everything set the way I do. Cheddar Compow says, $5 for NAMM beer and pizza fun. Hey Cheddar, would you be upset if I bought a Chapman guitar with that? So, I don't drink beer at the NAMM show. Oh no, I lied. I just lied. I don't go out drinking after the NAMM show. I have walked around and drank a beer, but it ended with a funny story. I once was at the NAMM show and I was super tired and I was having a long day and I had a bunch of appointments. And so there's, if you guys don't know the NAMM show, there's bars. There's bars throughout at the place to get liquor. So I drank a beer and I hadn't eaten all day. And, anyways, I was in a booth getting a spiel from a sales rep, and I was really tired and kind of burnt out, and I was really not digging the line of products in him. And so what's funny was I was a little tipsy, and and we were walking. He turned the corner to show me the other side of the wall of amps, and I just kept walking, and I actually went out to the front of the thing and went and walked down the street to my hotel room and went to bed. So, and it was funny. The reason the story's funny is because then he sends me a text and he goes, "Where did you go?" I'm like, and I said, I was kind of done, but I'll talk to you tomorrow about it. So maybe it's not that funny of a story, but we backtracks. $2 for the anti-Chapman fun. Hey. The anti-Chapman fund. Like I said, I appreciate what you but yes, thank you. So I'll put that towards something not Chapman. Here's a good question. Monty wants to know, hey, hello, Philip. Have you ever tried the Crate Palomino amp? Yes, the Palominos are great amps. Towards the end, Fender was making some really interesting tube amps. The Palominos were one of those. Palominos to me fall in the category of some of the really good PV amps, like the Classic series. Affordable, look kind of cool. They look legit. They sounded good, and now you can find them for very inexpensive. So, are they amazing? That's an argument for the ages. Can you legitimately gig with them? Are they a legitimate product that you can use? Are they good pedal platforms? All those things the answer is yes. And sometimes you can pick them up so cheap, it's hilarious. So, which I always tell everybody, kind of look into that stuff. Look into that stuff. If it doesn't fit your needs, I understand. But boy, some of that stuff is really good for the price. Think of this. I've seen tube amps. I had this funny story. I saw a tube amp a couple weeks ago, and it was so inexpensive that I figured out that you couldn't buy the tubes for what the guy was trying to sell the amp for. And the amp sat for 2 weeks. And I thought, now I get it. I know the tubes are in the amp are used and they don't have the same value as a new set of tubes, but you understand what I'm saying, right? That's like saying, hey, there's a guy trying to sell a car for less than 4 tires. And cheap tires, 4 cheap, you know what I mean? And not a non-working car, like I said, a working car. So there you go. Kenny's saying nothing wrong with the old and new Korean Chapmans. The new Indonesian ones look horribly constructed. Well, that's why I'm curious. You guys asked me about Chapman guitars in Korea. The problem is that if I review Chapman guitars in Korea, I'm biased. Not because of Chapman, I'm biased because of the Korean guitars. There's 2 manufacturers in Korea. Both make fantastic guitars. If it's a dud guitar, it's just because that one's bad. But as a manufacturer, the process there are very consistent and very good quality. Indonesian guitars, like Chinese guitars, they go the gamut. There's really good, and then there's not so awesome. And so they can swing in between. So that's why I'm curious. Let's try a new product that has Nathan's adding to the Chapman fund. Do you think customer direct companies have a place? Should have booths at NAMM? Do you think customer direct companies have a place? Should they have booths at NAMM? So let's, call a spade a spade. So obviously that's the first runner up for that is Kiesel. Kiesel has a giant booth at NAMM. It's a very impressive booth. They have all their product and they don't sell to dealers. It's a dealer show and they don't sell to dealers. Do they have a place? Absolutely. Because I like the ability to touch the product. Plus, here's their math. They're not dumb. And I have not talked to them about this, so I don't know, but I'm going to tell you what I think. What I think is the reason why Kiesel has a booth at the NAMM is, one, there's NAMM coverage, which is important coverage, right? You never know when you're going to get coverage, especially now with YouTube. Some YouTuber walks by, does your booth, there you go, more coverage. Plus, you're going to know. Yeah, it's a dealer show, but it's also a guitar trade show, which means the odds are you have a high probability of coming across a guitar player. So if there's 100,000 people that walk through that place, let's assume through some system of just guessing that 40,000 are guitar players. Why not? The rest will be, let's say, they're their piano and orchestra and drum and whatever, through all the other instruments combined. But guitar is the most predominant instrument. Unfortunately, DJ is probably a big section of that stuff too. But let's say there's 40,000 guitar players. And let's cut that number in half. Let's say there's 20,000 guitar players. They're actually, if you think about it, actually what Kiesel's doing is better than probably what everybody else at NAMM show is doing. Kiesel's like, hey, all we got to do is sell X amount of guitars. We pay for the booth, and we're flush. So a zero cost sum for them. So they're just trying to get access to guitar players. That'd be my guess. And I don't know many other vendors at the show that are direct to consumer only that are doing the show. There probably is a couple more, but that's the big one. So yeah, I think there's a place because they want to try to sell guitars to people. And Kiesel is really trying to adapt the brand. Carvin forever was like a lot of companies, they were the really good, inexpensive version of something else. They had a PRS kind of guitar. They had a Jackson kind of guitar. They always had a kind of guitar. I might upset some Carvin people, but like I said, if you get upset about this stuff, don't take it personal. I mean, no offense to anybody. Not everybody likes what I like either. But Kiesel, I think, is my impression of watching them is they really trying to create a new kind of. They're not trying to create affordable product. They're trying to create good product. It just happens to be on the lower price scale of what everybody else is competing with. And the reason I say that is because I bet you through time they'll keep raising their prices till eventually they are a premium brand. And I think I've seen Jeff say that's not really the intention. He's trying to keep it modest and affordable. And I think he'll keep to that, but because it'll always be a little better. But I wouldn't be shocked one day if Kiesel is the same price as like Comparison and Mayonnaise and, am I saying that right? I always say mayonnaise, whatever. And other brands that to have that same kind of vibe and look. And so you never know. You never know. Sorry, I'm going dormant. There's just so many questions. All right, let's see if we got this one. This one is, so I'm going to say Markor 66 did a super chat. Hey, Phil, have you ever played a Strandberg guitar? Any thoughts on them? I've played, so I've done a video. So, if you look it up in my catalog, I did 5 things you don't know about Strandberg guitar. I have a friend who's a guitar instructor who plays a Strandberg 8-string guitar. And I've played at the booth. I played the 6- and 7-string Strandberg guitar. I've played his 8-string extensively. I'm not a big fan of 8-strings. I like 7s. If I was going to own 8-string, I would own a Strandberg. That guitar plays amazing with that crazy neck, whatever they call that. There's a name for the neck. I said it in the video. No, very cool guitars. And their new Korean ones are very good too. They have a Korean line of guitars, and they're expensive, like $1,400, $1,500. But it's comparative. $1,500 to what? The 3 to, I think Matt paid $3,000 or $4,000 for his, and his isn't even the crazy expensive one. So, yeah, very good quality. And very cool neck. If that's something you're thinking about, here's the advice I can give you that's maybe better than all that. Most people look at that and either cringe, like with the I don't understand this, or they look at it and they think this is exciting. If you have a kind of a excitement when you're looking at them, I would say check them out or get one. if you're cringing, don't try it, because it's probably not going to win you over. But if you're thinking it's kind of exciting, I think you'll find it interesting. I had no real interest in it, and I still think it's interesting, but it's just not my thing. I'm not going to play an 8-string guitar. Especially hanging out with somebody who plays an 8-string guitar really well. It's really just depressing because, you know, and he plays Tosin Abasi stuff like Tosin Abasi does. So, you know, so when you watch somebody play at that level, hey Phil, Mojo Penguin says, hey Phil, what do you think of Music Man? They are with Fender, one of the only companies doing well for guitars as well as basses. Thanks. Yeah, they seem to be doing well. Music Man's very good company. Quality is definitely there. They're very good quality. And I say that I've had good experience with Music Man, setting them up. The ones I've owned. My buddy Joe had a Petrucci that he hated because it didn't play right. That's going to happen. You know, he even thinks about getting another one because, you know, he's thinking he just got a dud. But good quality stuff. I had a Petrucci 7-string guitar for a long time, and the quality on that was amazing. Fantastic guitar. Not sure if I miss it, just because I didn't play 7-string very much anymore. So I currently have 3 7-strings, and I'm trying to get down to 1 because Gabriel's got a question. It says, hey, Phil, what is your opinion on guitar purist and cork sniffers? You know, what's interesting about that is that's where I don't enjoy the guitar community. I'm not of the personality of you're with us or against us, or it's good or it's bad. I'm with the adage that each experience is individual. And that sounds like a cop-out. So let me give you a more straightforward answer. I really dislike people who buy cheap guitars and cheap pedals and tell everybody who buys expensive stuff that they're idiots and they're falling for some kind of trick. I really don't enjoy people who buy expensive stuff and tell people who have inexpensive stuff that they don't have a good ear and they can't hear the difference. My personal experience, and the reason I don't like that is because my personal experience has been exactly that. Some stuff is amazing at a low price and some stuff is amazing at a high price. But the truth of it for most people is it's about where the par, you know, where good is. And I know where good is. You know what I mean? I think everybody who's walked in a music store for a couple hours can figure out where good price guitars, pedals, and amps sit. And as you go, okay, this is good. And then if you go up in price, yeah, it gets a little better. And then after that, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But then it doesn't have to, because, you know, you'll talk yourself into you're your worst friend. You'll talk yourself into the worst ideas ever. You know, I do it all the time. I was just talking to Tone King last night, and I was mentioning my gems about the fact that they're crazy expensive, and I have them. And but it's because it just reminds me of guitars when I was a kid. And so when people tell me they're overpriced and they're junk, I don't ever get upset, because I'm like, I can't even argue that they're wrong. I just argue that, but that's not why I bought them. So yeah. So to answer your question, purist and cork sniffers, yeah, I just don't like anybody who's not open-minded to it, to at least hear an idea, or at least say, you know, hey, you have your opinion, I have mine. We go on our own ways. And also the other reason is too, is I don't want to eat crow, man. You know, sometimes a piece of gear will change your mind. I've had that experience many times in my life. I pick up a piece of gear, and both directions. I have picked up gear that it's really expensive that I thought was stupid, and I go, wow, I guess I'm wrong. This is there's a magic to this. And I've done the same thing with cheap gear. I've said, oh, this is junk, and then I pick it up and I go, this is good. So you got to be open-minded, take everything case by case. Beatmaster says, Phil, do you own a Firebird? I don't. I've never even owned one. Never saw one on your wall. If not, any particular reason? No, I'm not real big into big pointy guitars. I sit and play. They don't really feel comfortable for the most part sitting and play for me. That's it. Cool looking guitars, but how are we doing on time? We have 7 minutes. Let's do this. Yeah, see, Kenny B says, play what you can afford. Play what sounds good to you. Great advice, Kenny. See, what great advice. In fact, yes. It's better said than I said it, so thank you. Yes, you that's exactly it. You know, everybody has a different reasoning for buying what they buy, but it's definitely not because, you know, you have to pay a lot of money to get good stuff nowadays. There's just no, those days are definitely gone. You can get anything good at any price. Luke David said Firebirds are amazing. I've worked on a few. Pixie Licks, what's up? 7 minutes. Looks like I'm late. Yeah, Pixie, I got stuff to do today, unfortunately. So it's gotta stay around an hour. Okay, so I'm gonna say Avidas says, Phil, any chance we'll ever get to see an unbiased review of the Head Rush versus the Helix? I can't think of anywhere but your channel where we'd ever get to see one. You know, that's an interesting thing. So, you know, this is something I've been toying around with for a while. I actually have a couple friends that have different things. I have a friend that has a Kemper and loves it. I have a friend who has an Axe FX and love it. I have a friend who has a Helix, and I've been thinking to Mike, I don't want to review them, but I would like to get those three people together and have an open discussion about them and talk about what it is that they like about them and maybe do some quick comparisons. And I think that would be an interesting video. And the reason is here's why I have trouble reviewing them. I try to be educated about what I review, and that stuff is just not stuff I can grab for 2 and 3 weeks and go, oh yeah, I got a total handle on this. I mean, you have to, you have to figure that stuff out. So, yeah, I'm curious, but I'm curious too. Terry Bear says, here you go, Phil, from Musician's Friend. Is that the link to that guitar I was talking about? Nice. Yeah, Sean Blues, Terry Bear, is that G&L? Yeah, see that right? You guys, if you guys are looking at that link, you'll see what I'm talking about. 350. It's a cool color. It's like a kind of misty metallic green. It's got the humbucker in the neck. It's got a cool maple neck. 350 free shipping. See, I'm thinking. So guitars like that kind of scare me because I go, oh, I'll get that guitar and then I'll like it so much I'll sell my expensive Tele, which maybe won't be a bad thing. Yeah, see, it is the Tele because I saw somebody say, hey, it's a sweet Tele. I've been asked this question a lot. I'm going to answer it one time. It says, hey, Phil, have you ever considered building an amp kit yourself? I have not. Not for any particular reasons. I just haven't decided to do it. So if I did do it, though, I would do a video. Terry says, no, it's to the Fender Tele Deluxe P90 equipped Black Dove. Oh, wow, cool. Somebody said Pixie Riffs. Dude, Pixie, that's the name, Pixie Riffs. Although that sounds weird too. Yeah, come to my channel and I do riffs of Pixies. I don't know. Now, Kiss Fan Side says, build a pedal before you build an amp. I build a couple pedals. Pedal kits are fun. You just try them and do them. And you learn a lot. What you learn is the components are easy. It's easy to put together. And so the magic in what you're paying for is not in the components, which everybody likes to talk about. They go, oh, it's only $30 in components. What a ripoff. I'm like, yeah, but it's really the time it takes moving those components around and trying out the different components and kind of figuring out. And then also having an ear that detects when you've hit the, it's like a chef. You can follow the ingredients all day long and you can say, hey, everybody can just take the ingredients and make a dish, but you got to have some skills too. Mark says, Phil, Line 6 M5. I have one. I love it. If you can find them dirt cheap, get one. I think they're still $100 out there. That's the price. I recommend it. Okay. And oh, Mikey Newman says, ordered a Pixie and Tone King Know Your Gear t-shirts. Yeah, thank you. That did pretty good. I was excited about that campaign. That we did with those mashup brands, and TK and I were talking about last night. A couple of people asked, they said, hey, they kind of missed it, paydays, whatever, all these other scenarios. Would we do another campaign? And I thought, well, I can't do a campaign unless the other side agrees. That's just the honor bound system. I said, we're sharing those dollars that are coming from those to share our channels and stuff. I take everybody else's brand seriously, and so they take my brand seriously too, and what we do. So, and he was up for it. So if you guys think that's a good idea, put that in the comments. If you'd like to see one more run, maybe for the holidays, if for anybody who missed getting one of those shirts. Because like I said, we just don't want to run them all the time. It's not a one time and never do it again. It's just, it'll be limited when we do them. So just something fun for the people that think it's funny or interesting. I love wearing it. I think it's cool because it's funny. Okay. And oh, Ricky asked me if I tried the Wampler amp yet. No, I haven't. Not at all. Very curious. I see it everywhere and I think about it. At the NAMM show, there's not really, you know, it's hard to try it. And there's definitely no dealers for it for around where I'm at. Ed Bailey says, Phil, ever play a 35-inch scale bass? Yep, absolutely. I've had a bunch of modulus 35-inch scale basses with 5 strings. Bought one and might have a bit off than I can chew. What's the difference? An inch makes. Yeah, it's really for the B string. I'm assuming you have a 5 string on that instrument. I mean, you might have a 4 string. It's really not useful if you have a 4 string. It's really useful for the 5 string. What does it do? It makes that B string sound more tight and round. Gives it better tonality. But I've learned, because I agree with you, Ed. It's kind of sucks you have the bass and I want to talk you out of it, but I've done the same problem. I had the same problem with the 35. It's just too much. It's just too much work, even though it sounded better. So I learned just to shop around until you find that right 5 string that sounds good at 34 inches. And We Backtrack says, I ordered today T-shirts which say, Phil, know what I mean. McKnight, Henning. What? That's what she said. Polly, Pixie Dude, Licks. You'll get them. Oh, okay, cool. That's cool. So the shirt says, you know what I mean. McKnight, Henning. That's what she said. Pixie Dude, Licks. That's cool. And what will we do for the last question? Let's see if we can find a good one. All right. I know I'm scrolling. I hate it when I go quiet, guys. I'm sorry. Just trying to. Somebody's talking about Carvin Jones. Yeah, Carvin Jones is a local guy here. He's amazing. Okay. So the question I'm going to go with for the last one was, it was from Maddie. Hey, Phil, did you manage to talk to Marshall at GitCon about upcoming lower wattage amps? I didn't. I got the impression from them, they were really just pushing code. Marshall seems to just really be pushing code. So I haven't heard anything other than just that. So, you know, nothing really exciting from the Marshall camp. We'll see what happens at NAMM. You know, they can always shock us. I say that every year. I go to the booth every year and hope for the best. And you know, every year, you know, we'll see. I'm still looking forward to it. But to be honest with you, I don't think I care anymore. And for myself, at this point, I'm almost, I'd be almost a little sad if I got to the Marshall booth and they made something cool, because I found my Friedman amp and I'm really happy with that. That's my Marshall sound and I really, really like it. So Pixie's like, no live show, Pixie, tonight? Yeah, he's got a family event. Yeah, so that's what I have going on tonight too. So, all right, guys. Again, if you didn't hear the announcement for the winners of the contest, that's at the beginning of this video. I just want to thank everyone who entered that contest, the Sharpen My Axe. Like I said, let me know in the comments down below. I really think once these 5 ones going to be a really intense thing for me, but once I get past this and we do this for the contest, maybe this is something I want to do once a month. So let me know what you think about doing that. We'll see how it goes too. You know, it's a little premature to talk about, but I think it's going to be fun. So again, I want to thank everybody who entered the contest. I know it takes a lot of time, and I know it like takes, especially you guys took pictures of your guitars and you guys wrote me, you know, long comments and stuff. And I appreciate all that time, because like I said, now I promise to read them all. And if I can respond to some of them, I will, but I'll do my best. That was a lot. 3,000 is a lot. And congratulations to the winners, and thank you to the ones that have gotten back with me. And like I said, I'll keep everybody updated on the Nerd Whammy. If 801 Guitars doesn't get in touch with me, I'll pick another winner for that pedal, and we'll ship that out. And I want to thank the guys that hung out with me last night again on Patreon. You guys were awesome, and that was a great hangout. And I want to thank everybody on Patreon and everybody who watches the channel and supports it. That's important to me again. And again, as always, I want to thank you guys for your time. And until next time, well, know your gear.